Welcome to the PA Connecting Communities Voter Education Workshop. This voter education workshop is a part of the advocacy program at PA Connecting Communities. Today, we will discuss why we should vote, how voting works, what the timeline is for the upcoming election, and a little bit about what our next steps might be. You may be wondering, why should I vote? Well, voting is one of our most important rights as an American citizen. Elected officials make laws that affect our lives, so it's very important for us to have a say in those laws and who is in charge of the government. What you think matters. The two laws that affect people with disabilities most are Medicaid, home and community-based services, and supplemental security income, also known as SSI. How does voting work? How do elections work? Well, first we're going to review some of the words that we need to know to understand how elections and voting works. There are many more words to learn in the Your Vote Counts voter manual. Now that you've had an opportunity to review some of the words we'll need to know, let's talk about the process. First of all, in order to vote, you must be registered. If you think you may already be registered, but you're not sure, or if you do need to register, go to pavoterservices.pa.gov. This is the official website in Pennsylvania for everything you need to know about voting and to be able to register. And I'm happy to help you with this after we finish our workshop. Deciding who to vote for is very important. We'll talk about a few ways we can find out what ideas each candidate has about our issues. Learning their ideas helps us predict how they might act in the future. The Disability Voter Guide has many more suggestions on page 12. Please be sure to research all of the ways you can find out what ideas each candidate has. If you don't know who your elected official is or who they are, go to www.usa.gov/elected-officials. This federal government site will provide you with all of your elected officials from the federal, state, and local level by simply adding your address and doing a search. If you're a person with a disability, you may bring a support person with you to vote. However, you will have to complete a declaration of need assistance at your polling place. We will provide you with a copy of this form to take with you to the polls just to be safe, period. Every polling place should have the form, but it's possible some may not, and we don't want to leave it to chance. This is what the Declaration of Need form looks like. Now, we will take this form with us to the polls, but it is important that we do not write on the form, period. Do not complete the form until you get to the polls, and complete the form with your polling place representative present. It's also possible that not all polling places will have accessible voting equipment, even though they are required to by law. It's also possible that some poll workers may try to discourage you from voting. This is called voter suppression, and it unfortunately happens all over. That's why we are providing telephone numbers for you and your support person to call should you run into problems at the polls. Don't leave the polls without voting. It is your right and your vote matters, but only if you use it. Now we have some deadlines coming up for the general election happening November 5th. October 21st is the last day to register to vote, so if you haven't yet registered, you'll need to do it before then. If you want to vote by mail instead of going to the polls, October 29th is the last day to apply for a mail-in ballot. November 5th is election day. Your county election office must receive your completed mail-in ballot by 8 p.m. on this day, November 5th. A postmark is not enough. You must mail your ballot early enough that it will be received by your polling place by November 5th. Now, if you're voting in person, the polls open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., and you can go anytime. On January 6th, our newly elected officials are sworn into office. So, if you want to exercise your right to vote, you need to take action. What are your next steps? Well, you must check your registration first and foremost, and you must register if you need to. The other really important thing is finding the location of your polling place and then making a plan to get a ride on election day. And don't forget to take your declaration of need form and a photo ID. Now remember, no buttons or signs are allowed inside the polling place. Happy voting, everyone. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you need help. PA Connecting Communities thanks you for participating in the workshop or reviewing the workshop online.